Hey everybody, and welcome back to the board meeting. Today we're doing another reviews and ratings episode where I review and rate all the different games I've been playing in the past 2 weeks with friends, family, and even solo. I've got 6 games I'm going to be talking about today. I know that's not as many as I usually do during this segment, but I didn't really play as many newer games these last couple weeks. I had a little vacation, went to the UND Hockey game with my son and my girlfriend and some friends. Great time. But we did play some games, so we got 6 games that I'm going to review and rate, and you know the deal. I'm going to start with my least favorites and go into my favorite. The first game that I'm going to be talking about, though, I'm not even going to rate, because it's more like an activity than a game. This is the couples game that's actually fun. That's the name of the game. And it's, like I said, it's not really a game, it's more so an activity that you can do with a loved one. And it's just going to ask you some questions, and you've got a board that you're going to write your answers on. And some of the questions, they want you to match up with your partner. Some you want to guess what your partner is going to say, stuff like that. But it feels like a game show, the couples show, where it's like if some actor was going to play you in a movie, what actor would be your partner's actor that portrayed them? And so it's just a fun little thing to do with your partner. Like I said, I'm not going to rate it because it's not really a game. It's actually doesn't even have a BGG page, which really surprised me. But if you're looking for an activity to do during Valentine's Day this time of year with your partner, this is one that I would suggest picking up. We had a good time playing it. It made us laugh a lot. So yeah, it's something that I would recommend. So that's the couples game that's actually fun. Going on to the next one. The next one is an exit game, part of the exit series, the escape room games. This is Exit the Game, The Lord of the Rings, Shadows over Middle-earth. I was pretty excited about this one because it is a Lord of the Rings game. This is an exit game, and I have not had the greatest time playing exit games. I'll just say that. It's a escape room type game, but set in the Lord of the Rings setting. And it's got some puzzles in it, and this one's going to get a 6.5 from me. Or a 6, sorry. It's going to get a 6 because I did find a couple of the puzzles to be fun and engaging and interesting and clever. But about half the puzzles, we were going through this and it's like, I can't figure out what this puzzle is. I don't even know what to do. And then we'd get, you can get 2 other clues to help you with it. And we get those 2 clues and we're like, I still have no idea. And then the third clue is basically to solve that. It just solves it for you. There's a few of them that we had to just go to the third clue because we had no idea how to solve this. And I wasn't playing with idiots, really. I was playing with some pretty smart people. I'm not saying we were the best at these games. In fact, I would say I'm bad at exit games, escape room type games. But I've had fun with the Unlock series, and I've had less fun with the Exit series of games. So yeah, it's going to get a 6. Like I said, I found some of the puzzles to be fun and engaging. Other ones, when we got the solution to it, we're like, how would we have thought of that? I don't know how they got from A to B in this. But a lot of people probably would. But for our particular group, we were really struggling with this. It still took us 2.5 hours to do this one, which the box says you're going to do it in 1 to 2 hours. So it is what it is. So yeah, that is Exit the Game, The Lord of the Rings, Shadows over Middle-earth. Going to the next game, the next one is Zombicide Green Horde, which is a sequel to Zombicide Black Plague. Now, Zombicide, this is very similar to Zombicide Black Plague, regular Zombicide. It is a dice-chucking dungeon crawl game where you're trying to defeat hordes of these zombies that are coming after you, a relentless wave of zombies that are coming after you, and you're going to get special weapons, and you're going to roll dice against these zombies. Zombicide as a whole has gone down for me in the past 2 years, I would say. I really enjoyed Zombicide right away, and it just keeps going down and down for me. It's going to get a 6.5. It's a dice-chucking game that it gets monotonous to myself. And a lot of these scenarios will take a couple hours. And for a dice-chucking game that's like almost purely luck-driven, like, I got to roll these numbers for this, I wish it was a little bit shorter, some of those scenarios. Altogether, if you like Zombicide, you'll like this one. If you like Black Plague, it's sort of the same setting, the D&D sort of setting for it. There's Griff right there. But yeah, 6.5. It's right where I rate all the other Zombicide at the moment. So yep, 6.5 for Zombicide, Green Horde. Going to our next game. The next game is Moon. Moon is a recent game that came out. This is a drafting resource management game in the same realm of It's a Wonderful World. You're going to be drafting a card and putting this into your engine, basically. You're building out this engine. And there's two main types of cards. There's some other cards that are going to do some special abilities, but there's two main types of cards. One card is going to get you resources. One card is going to give you tags. These tags are going to be a requirement to build certain other cards. Like in order to build this card, you're going to have to have two of these tags. The resources are going to build your engine. That's how you're going to get more resources to buy these cards. And it feels a lot like It's a Wonderful World, where at the start, you don't have much of an engine. You're not getting a lot of resources during the resource gathering phase. But towards the end of the game, you have a ton of cards on this, and you're going to get all those resources that are going to help you buy these more powerful cards. There are also other cards that you can draft that are going to give you some special abilities, some stuff like that, some end game points and things like that. This is going to get a 7.5 for me. I mentioned It's a Wonderful World. It's a 7.5 because it gets docked for a few things. I like It's a Wonderful World quite a bit more than this one. I like this one a lot, but It's a Wonderful World is simultaneous drafting, where this one isn't. You're going to be taking a card and doing your turn and then passing those cards, and then everybody's taking their turn one after another rather than the simultaneous play, so it drags on a little bit more. You're not always doing something. You're waiting for other people to do that. So that hurt it a little bit. Also, the resource components. There's hearts that have a number on them, and those are going to be your points. And like one side will show like 1 point, and the other side will be like 10 points. You can accidentally bump those, and they'll flip over. And it happened a few times during our game where everybody's like, "What was this? I can't remember." So I don't really like the components in it. The cards are fine. I don't really like how they're keeping track of the scoring, though, in this particular game. Overall, I enjoyed it. This made me intrigued to go get the other games in this designer's line. And I think this is like the third game that he's designed in this line, where they're like little rectangle boxes. I'm interested now. I'm probably going to try to check those ones out as well. I think one's called Villagers, and another one, I can't remember what the other one's called. But yeah, so 7.5 for Moon. Going to the next game. The next one, funny enough, is an engine building game. This is Ancient Knowledge. This came out last year as well. This is an engine building game where the engine is constantly changing. You are going to be taking these cards and putting them into your engine and above your player board. And there's 6 different sections that you can put these cards in. And depending on the card that you draft, it has to go in a certain section. And these cards are going to get you special abilities. It might be an instant ability. It might be an ongoing ability while it's in your timeline. It might be an ability that activates once it falls off, because this engine is going to be constantly rotating to the left and eventually falling off your board. So your engine is constantly changing. It's constantly falling off. You're adding new cards constantly. You're also going to be adding these other artifact cards, which are going to give you abilities full time for the whole game. There are also this other knowledge cards that you can take, and they're going to give you abilities. Each turn you're just doing 2 actions, and it might be placing out a card or learning knowledge or doing different things. But it's a pretty straightforward game. The complexity of this game comes from the card abilities. All these cards have special abilities, and I think all of the cards in this big giant deck are unique and different from one another, as far as I could see. And I thought the game was really interesting. It's going to get an 8 rating. I enjoyed it substantially. I really found it interesting building that engine, but that engine is constantly changing and falling off. You're trying to manipulate where these cards are going in your engine and how you're going to do everything. The bad thing about this game is I think it takes a little bit long. You're only doing 2 actions on your turn, which is very fast. But once you have this big engine going, you're doing several actions a lot of times. You're like, okay, I did this, which allows me to do this. This ability also gets me a discount on this. So you have to pay attention to those cards that are in that engine pretty closely, because you can forget a couple things. But throughout the game, your turns might take longer and longer because your engine gets more and more complex as the game goes. And I for that reason, I've played this game at 2 players, and I've played this game at 3 players. I do not want to play this game at 4 players. 3 players was fine. It took about 2 hours for me to do the 3-player game, which is runs a little bit long for myself. But when I played a 2-player game, I'm like, this is a really good head-to-head game. So I want to play this game at 2. 3 is fine. 4, I would probably try to recommend something else for it. But yeah, 8 rating for Ancient Knowledge, a game that I really enjoyed. It kind of surprised me for me. Going to the next game, and our last game we're going to be talking about today. Today is Marvel United Spider-Geddon, which is the 3rd base box that has come out to retail for Marvel United. Now, I love Marvel United. Marvel United is a very simple gateway-style cooperative game with Marvel heroes. You're going to play as a Marvel character versing a villain. In this box, it's just a bunch of different Spider-Men. So there's like Spider-Noir. If you've watched the new animated Spider-Man movies, that's where these characters are coming from. Like Spider-Punk from the newest one is in this box set. And I really enjoy Marvel United. I think it's a great gateway game. It's a game that I bring to the table all the time. I've played this set a lot, but I've mixed it with all my other sets as well because it's so easy to integrate all of these different sets together. This particular box set is going to get an 8.5. I enjoy it, but it got knocked down a little bit. Right now I rate Marvel United a 9. This one's an 8.5 solely for one reason. It's all Spider-Man. And we already have an expansion that is all Spider-Man. So now I've got the 3 core boxes for Marvel United and a couple different expansions. One of those expansions is also just a box that's full of Spider-Man. So now I have a base box and an expansion that's all just Spider-Man. So out of probably the 30-some characters, 30 or 40 characters that I own currently, 10 of them or so are Spider-Man characters. And I like Spider-Man, but I want more diversity with the characters. Not that these characters, their powers aren't diverse, but I just don't want all of my characters to be Spider-Man based characters. But altogether, it's still a great game. I would probably say this is my second favorite core box out of the 3. I would rate them Marvel United X-Men, then Marvel United Spider-Geddon, and last one, the Marvel United, the base one, the original box set. All of them are great. All of them I would highly recommend for you to try. If I was going to get a base box, though, out of the 3, I would definitely try to get Marvel United X-Men. That's my personal favorite out of all of them. So yeah, a 9 rating for Marvel United Spider-Geddon, or an 8.5. 8.5 is what I settled at for this Spider-Geddon. But yeah, that will complete this video, so make sure to comment down below your thoughts on all of these games. If you've played them, if you haven't, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Either way, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe to see more weekly content from me, Shane, at the board meeting in the future. Hope you all have an amazing day. Take care.